Good morning. I think I want to start just reflecting on the landscape that we're seeing at the moment, and it's a lot of immense change that we're seeing, lots of contributing factors that are really changing the workplace that we once knew. Employees are driving that change. They want more flexibility about how they work, they want more flexibility in their benefits, they want more diversity in their benefits. So it's really that ability to attract, retain and engage employees, which is becoming even more challenging, and creating a very strong employee experience is absolutely paramount. And 80% of organisations from our own research told us that creating a stronger employee experience is their priority now moving forward. So how do you do that? So let's discuss that now. How can you create something that's more impactful, more successful, but at the same time recognising that most of us are working in very challenging budgets as well. So let's look at the benefits landscape. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our research, things we're hearing from employers and what we're hearing from employees as well. Then talk about employee experience in its broadest term. What do we mean by that, and how does benefit delivery deliver on that employee experience? What does good look like? And hear about some of our more transformative and progressive clients and what they're doing in this space, which is an indicator of what the future might look like. So let's start with some of our research. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about some of our research, some of the data, and the two areas of research I want to focus on are our Global Benefits Trend Survey, which is a survey of employers on a whole range of benefit issues, but particularly we're focusing on benefit delivery here. But also our Global Benefit Attitude Survey, which is a survey of employees on a whole range of benefit issues. So what you see here is a comparator between the two and an opportunity to kind of see where there are some strong connections and some disconnects between what both sides are saying. So I guess I'm going to call out a few of these. The first of those is increased flexibility and choice. And as I mentioned earlier, we know employees are absolutely looking for that now, more diversity and more choice in their benefits. So employees are recognising that. And it's great that employers are recognising that too. And we can see that's a high priority for employers. A couple of others that I want to point out or call out is listening strategy. So you see employees are saying, this is really important to us. We need to be listened. Employers need to understand what we truly need from our employer going forward. But at the same time, when you look at the employer survey, it's fairly low down on the priority list. So what is that? Are employees thinking, we know what our employees want, and that's fine? Or is it there's some challenges in actually getting that data? Are organisations focusing on things like participation rates in your flexible benefit programme is an indicator about what employees want? Or is there something more? Is there some challenges around getting that information? And we know that focus groups are very effective, and the role of digital solutions in creating that virtual focus group means you can reach more people and get some great insights on what employees truly want. I guess the final one to call out there is benefits for low wage, and I guess really referring to the cost of living crisis that we're facing and the opportunity we have and the need to support employees much more. So thinking about benefits that can support, so whether it's around financial wellbeing, tax efficient benefits, discounts, opportunities to sell benefits to release cash, all of those things are very important. So this is a very busy slide, but this just kind of talks to what employees are looking for at different demographics, gender, generation, salary. I guess no surprises there that flexible work, retirement, career, health benefits are really important. But the one I wanted to call out was really that in the dark grey box there, getting the most from benefits. And I think this is kind of post-pandemic that employees really want to understand what's available to them, where can they get that support when they really need it. So what about the role of the employer? And I think we're seeing a shift here. And in the past, we know that employees were a little bit sceptical. Could I get a better deal myself when I'm choosing my flex choices? How does this compare to what I can get myself? When we're looking at well-being and delivery of well-being, a lot of employees used to say, my health is my own issue. I don't see my employer having a role there. But I think certainly post-pandemic, absolutely employers have recognised the role that the employer has and the support that they can give. So we are seeing some movement in this trust, if you like, that employees have in their employer, both in terms of finding the right products and the right deal. So what about employee experience? How are employers getting on with this and how successful they're being? So you can see here from our data that looking at appreciation, communication and support, they're scoring fairly low scores here, and clearly there's a lot of work to be done here. So what are the priorities for organisations going forward? And we know that recognising the importance of benefits, the value of benefits continues to be very important. But it's also around creating those digital solutions that communicate and enable transactions. And that's not just about supporting transactions, say like your on-payroll, flexible benefit transactions, but it's everything else. Employees are looking for one place to go and buy their benefits and buy their off-payroll benefits so they can kind of do that transaction in one place. So that's very important. And the other thing is employees are looking, they want support when they choose their benefits. They want support when they use their benefits, and they want new ways of interacting with people and getting that support. So all of this is leading to much stronger engagement going forward. So then we start to think about what solutions are employers putting in place, what digital solutions. So we know that sort of information systems, shopping experience is very important. But what we're seeing is a move towards more digital hubs, opportunities to bring everything together, everything that you offer as part of that employment deal into one place. Navigation tools, helping to support employees with decision support, helping them to understand what's really important to them, what benefits they should be choosing. And that mobile experience, I mean, our lives are run by mobile apps, so it's very important that we facilitate that as well. So there's the growing trends that you can see. So where we're kind of moving to is kind of a shift away from transaction platforms, but really creating that opportunity to create this hub that truly focuses what's important to the employee, that personalises it. So you might call that an engagement layer that needs to sit in front of any transaction platforms that exist to properly engage the employee before they make those transactions. So just to sort of close on this part of the session. So on the left-hand side are some of the challenges that our clients are saying to us. And I think really what they're looking for, they're wanting to integrate that HR ecosystem. They want to enhance the user experience. They want to reduce costs. They want to personalise that experience, and also want to maximise the value of the spend that they're delivering to their employees. So let's now focus on how you can address this, how you can improve the employee experience. And I'm going to ask Sarah to continue the discussion and start to talk about what do we mean about employee experience.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good morning, everyone. So delighted to be here this morning talking about something that we're very passionate about at WTW, which is employee experience. But before we get into talking specifically around benefits and some of the opportunities that are there and some of the opportunities that technology presents, we thought it would be important to define what we mean by employee experience. And for us, it's the sum of all the touch points that matter between an employee and an employer. And I think it becomes even more poignant when we think about benefits, because it's about meeting employees where they are on their life journey, at those critical moments that matter when they need to access the benefits that they need. So it's critically important. But to kind of bring that to life a little bit more, what I wanted to share is our high-performance employee experience framework. I'm not going to go through this chart in a lot of detail, but just to explain some of the fundamentals. What we've been able to do is, through our research, understand those core drivers of employee experience. And they are purpose, work, reward, and people. So it's very much about the connection at work, and also about the contribution, the yin and the yang at work. They're the kind of the core four drivers of employee experience. And what we see at that kind of basic level, and what we call our essentials level, are the fundamentals. They're the foundational elements that need to be in place in order to be able to sustainably attract and retain talent. And benefits sits as part of that overall core reward area. So it's a core part of the employee experience. It impacts the employee experience. It can absolutely enhance the employee experience. It's a core part of that driver. So really important to get these things right. At the next layer, we see emphasis. And what differentiates organizations when it comes to this layer is basically the personal agency that employees feel they have within an organisation. And back to what Rebekah was talking about, their voice is heard, they are understood, the benefits that are delivered are aligned with their needs. That's where we start to see differentiation. And then at that excellence layer, those organisations who have set their own, they stand out, they have set their own path in terms of what they're doing for employees. And that's around inspiration, drive, growth and trust. So the fundamental point, I think, is that benefits plays a huge part of the employee experience, and the opportunity here is how we can enhance that further. And I think starting with the basics, which is around communication, do employees understand, are they aware of all of the benefits that are on offer? Do they truly understand everything that's on offer to them right now? And we've just put some stats on this slide just to show some of the things that we're seeing from our research. And I think one thing that stood out for me from our Global Benefits Attitude Survey earlier this year was that employees were twice as likely to remain with their current employer if they felt their needs were met from a benefits perspective by their current employer. And that just shows you how critically important and the opportunity that's here to ensure that the benefits are understood, but more importantly, that employees' needs are well understood so that there's a really strong alignment there. Technology fundamentally has changed the world. We all know that. And we're all used to the consumer-grade experiences we have in our daily lives. As Rebekah mentioned, it's things like our mobiles constantly available to us. Similarly, technology can play a huge role in terms of how we deliver our total reward, particularly when it comes to the benefits that are on offer. And not only technology to enable the listening and the understanding that we talked about, but also in terms of how we communicate those benefits. And what we've learned through the pandemic, we studied what we call transformative employee experience organisations. And these are organisations that have aligned their business strategy, their employee experience strategy, and put technology at the heart of their employee experience. And what they've been able to do is come through the pandemic stronger than their peers. And so when we started to delve deeper to understand some of the things that they did differently, when it came to benefits, they invested, 67% of those organisations invested in really understanding employee needs, understood what tools and communication channels were needed in order to communicate benefits in a really clear and engaging way. And fundamentally, were 4 times more likely to invest to ensure that pay communication was personalised. The ability to personalise communication is incredible through technology. And that's what we're seeing, the trend, as Rebekah has already outlined, we're seeing that trend. Employees are looking for more choice, more flexibility, looking for more personalisation. Technology can deliver that, and that's the opportunity, I think, for all of us. I just said I'd share a couple of examples on screen of what we're seeing right now. The great thing is technology can start with something like an engagement layer, as Rebekah has mentioned, where we bring everything together. It's delivering something that is both mobile as well as at a desktop. So it's delivering on that experience that we're all very familiar with. Engaging, fully branded, making sure the information is accessible when people need it, it's at their fingertips. I think more importantly, the ability to embed listening within a channel like this is incredibly important because it ensures that there is real-time information on how benefits are being accessed, benefits preferences, well-being preferences. It just means that you can access all of that information. So technology creates this opportunity for all of us to have that understanding. And I think the cherry on top is where additional data can be added to that engagement layer. So rather than seeing generic content, what we're seeing now and where we're seeing a real drive is for that personalized experience. So employees get what they need that's relevant to them at their fingertips. It's personalized to them. It's available so that, that they're not seeing information that's no longer applicable or not, targeted at them in a very specific way. And it means that there's real-time information delivered. So this is what we're seeing in terms of best practice, that drive towards individual, personalised communication to drive awareness, understanding and engagement, which is fundamentally what this is all about. So I might just ask Rebekah to sum up some of the key insights that we've talked about this morning before we hand over to any questions.
Great, thank you. So I think, really, just to sum up what we've talked about this morning, and quite simply, we know the landscape is evolving, it's changing. We know that employees are looking for more flexibility, more choice. We know that benefit delivery is very important. And we know that digital solutions are absolutely the future in the way that you do this. But what's important is to recognise that your employee experience today will be very different tomorrow. Your needs will be very different tomorrow and beyond that. So whatever technology you choose needs to grow as you grow going forward. So with that, I'll say thank you and we'll open up for questions.